Today, we're going to talk about one of Beavis and Butthead's favorite bands. I'm talking about Metallica. And the album we're going to look at is the self-titled album from 1991. Most people refer to it as the Black Album. So stay tuned. This is actually the fifth Metallica studio album. It was released in 1991 on Elektra Records. For this album, Metallica was looking for a new producer. There was this guy named Bob Rock who did some really good work with Motley Crue on the Dr. Feelgood album. What Bob Rock did is he took Metallica from thrash metal to basic heavy metal radio play. It must have worked. The album debuted #1 on the Billboard Top 200. It sold almost 600,000 copies in the first week. Over 16 million copies total. This album was only the fourth album to enter the 550 Club. The 550 Club is when a record gets on the Billboard Top 200 and stays for 550 weeks. This album also became the second longest charting album of history, second only to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. This album is a 2-disc set containing 12 songs. The first song on side 1 is Enter Sandman, my personal favorite song on the album. This song was the first single released from the album. The single hit number 16 on the Billboard Top 100, and the single was certified platinum. The second song is Sad But True. This was the fifth single released from the album, and it became a mainstay on classic rock stations everywhere. Side 1 ends with a song called Holier Than Thou. This song picks up the pace a little bit. It sounds like a traditional Metallica song with a great solo. Side 2 begins with a song called The Unforgiven. Definitely a power ballad. I'm not a ballad kind of guy, but I gotta say I like the song. This song became a huge hit, and it ended up everywhere. The next song is also a mainstay play on classic rock radio. It was also a huge hit. It reached 82 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It peaked number 25 on the Billboard album Rock Tracks. Actually went to number 2 in Denmark and Finland and Norway. So the last song on side 2 is a song called Don't Tread on Me. Interesting story about this song. There was a lady in British Columbia, Canada. She was out walking her dog and sees this cougar approaching. Doing everything she's been taught, she makes herself big. She yells, "Ah!" The cougar doesn't leave. Thinking quickly, she pulls out her cell phone, pulls up the song Don't Tread on Me, and cranks her phone volume full blast and points the phone at him. The cougar turns and runs. Side 3 opens with the hard-driving song Through the Never and is immediately followed by a beautiful ballad, and I'm not a ballad guy, called Nothing Else Matters. Nothing Else Matters was the third single released from the album. It peaked at number 11 on the Billboard mainstream tracks. The last song on side 3 is called Of Wolf and Man. Sorry, but the song doesn't do much for me. Moving on from that, side 4 contains 3 songs I never heard of. The first is called The God That Failed. It's actually a story about James Hetfield's mom and how he's upset with her. She had cancer, but refused to be seen or treated by the doctors. She followed her Christian Science faith and believed that God would have healed her. Hetfield was mad, thinking that if she had sought treatment, she would still be alive. The second song on this side is called My Friend of Misery, and it's immediately followed by The Struggle Within. You can kind of tell these last 2 songs don't do much for me. So, where are we? Well, we've got a 2-record set, fantastic songs, many hit singles, 5 that are enormous hit singles, a couple of ballads that are beautiful, and a couple of songs that really didn't do much for me. How would I rate the album? Whoa! That's right, 2 full thumbs up. This album is a classic. It rocks, and even if there's a few songs that don't do much for you, the songs that are good are really good. So my recommendation, buy this album. Buy this album. Buy this album.